mula sa First District ng Lanao del Sur, House Deputy Majority Leader and Vice Chairperson ng House Committee on Appropriations, si Representative Zia Alonto Adyong. Congressman, magandang umaga po. Si Peter Atrica dito sa Balita Patan, sir.
Magandang umaga, Peter. Magandang umaga, Rica. Magandang umaga po sa inyong mga taga-subaybay.
Thank you for joining, Congressman. Salamat po.
Congressman Zia, opo, let's call a spade, ano po. Ano po bang, bakit mayroong mga hindi bumoto dito sa panukalang budget na ito for 2026? Why does it persist, itong mga talks about hindi pa rin napakalinis nitong budget na ito?
Well, we tried our best to really, yung sinasabi po nilang unprogrammed funds, kasi that's where the reasoning mostly from those who opposed itong 2026 na NEP from supporting yung sa well, I cannot speak for them, their individual reason kung bakit po hindi sila bumoto, but mostly because of the unprogrammed funds. Kaya nga po sabi nila, hindi ho nila masuportahan yung 2026 na yung HGAB natin. Kasi pasado na sa House of Representatives, so ito na po yung final version ng House General Appropriations Bill natin.
Okay. Outside of the unprogrammed funds, which we will go back to a little bit later, Congressman Zia, bakit daw, and I know there's a reason for this, bakit daw tinanggal na nga yung mga flood control projects budget for 2026 and yet lumaki pa rin ang budget appropriation natin for next year?
The same pa po. Same pa po yung you mean to say the ceiling? Kasi may ceiling naman po yan eh.
No, I mean, di po ba? Kasi kung binawasan, tinanggal ng Pangulo, sabi ng Pangulo, tanggalin lahat ng mga flood control projects budget for 2026. Ang inaasahan ng marami is maaaring bumaba o kapantay lang ng 2025 national budget ang budget for next year. Apo.
Yeah, I understand. Well, yung sa DPWH, remember po, yung sinubmit ng original na draft ng budget proposal ng DPWH, ni-review na mga po yan di ba? So, nung umupo po si Secretary Dizon, meron po siyang sabi niya, I cannot defend this budget because it's not mine. Ibig sabihin, hindi niya alam kung how it was prepared, how they determined yung mga budget entries. So, they had to submit again a reassessed and reviewed DPWH budget. In fact, nagsabi rin si Presidente sa DBM pati sa DPWH na i-review niyan. So upon the assessment at yung pag-review po ng DPWH, 255 billion of all the flood control programs, mostly from DPWH, tinanggal po yan sa DPWH na pondo at ni-reallocate natin. Yun po yung naging trabaho ng Budget Amendment Review Subcommittee, yung BARC. 255 billion were reallocated to other programs of other departments, mostly from Department of from educational sector. In fact, on top of the NEP, kung sa budget ng educational sector, DepEd, CHED, TESDA, dinagdagan ng 59 billion. So, this is the first time actually, Peter. First time sa kasaysayan ng Pilipinas na 1.28 trillion pesos ang pondo sa educational sector. This is in compliance with the constitutional mandate na dapat pinaka number one na bigyan ng pondo ay ang educational sector. 1.28 trillion ang naibigay na budget for education. In fact, for the first time, yung Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education at yung QACTE will achieve for the first time since 2017, makukover niya yung 12 billion deficiency na dapat bayaran sa mga state universities and colleges.
Yeah.
A total of 2.49 million learners will benefit from the scholarships to CHED and TESDA program. So, doon po na-reallocate yung 255. Second na biggest chunk nung 255 billion ay ang health. Dilagyan natin ng health ng on top of the net nila, may additional 90.7 billion pesos ang binigay. So so ang budget ngayon ng health is nasa 411.2 billion pesos ang naibigay. With the additional subsidy ni sinasabi nilang 60 billion for PhilHealth. Wala nang rason ngayon ng PhilHealth but to improve their to improve and to expand their those benefit coverage. Kasi meron na silang total 113 billion na raise na natin with the additional 60 billion subsidy. Sa pangatlo yung sa ano tawag dito sa Department of Agriculture. Gusto natin ma-empower yung mga farmers. Meron na silang budget of 292.9 billion pesos. Merong 53.7 na realign natin from the 255 billion. So, ibig sabihin, just to make it short, yung sinasabi niyo pong natanggal from the DPWH, tama po, natanggal at doon natin reallocate sa mga agencies na may mga budget line items sila na kinakailangan pa nilang additional na pondo. At ito yung ni-request naman ng mga agencies. Kumbaga parang, okay, na meron tayong 255 billion na available for reallocation for other agencies. Ano yung mga priorities niyo? So, all the agencies submitted their request. Hindi ho kami yung nag-decide from BARSI, but we are guided by the request of per agencies. So yun po yung nangyari. We redistributed the 254.5 billion pesos plus from the DPWH initial budget proposal.
So just to be just to underline this before I pass it on to Rica, Congressman Zia, ang education ngayon kung meron siyang 1.28 trillion, that's 19% of the total budget for 2026. Is that correct? 6.75?
Yes, from the 6, yeah. You can say that. Actually, ang sabi nga nila, yung budget ng 1.28 trillion pesos is equivalent to 4.1% of our GDP. In fact, we have already surpassed the international benchmark of 4%. So, yeah, you can say that. Kasi hindi ko na-round off from percentage from the total percent from the total budget of the net. No?
Opo. Balikan ko lang din po yung education budget, Kong Zia, no? Hinimay po ni Congresswoman Risco etong budget na yan. Sinabi po niya, while the education sector is set to get 1.28 trillion nga, pag hinimay daw po yan, sa dami ng mga estudyante natin, sa DepEd at sa CHED, kada estudyante ay makakakuha lamang ng 100 piso kada araw. Even though ito ay 4% na ng GDP allotment natin, based lamang ito sa minimum international standard. So inaabot lang daw po natin ang minimum na standard. Hindi naman po talaga more than ano pa sana ang kaya nating maibigay. So ano ang masasabi niyo dito, sir? Yes, we did give more, pero minimum lang po pala ito, bare minimum lamang.
No, ma'am. Actually, if you compare that from the previous GAA, talagang sobrang taas na po ito na ma'am. No, and we have a ceiling. And we cannot just make up all the numbers out of the thin air kasi we have a ceiling of 6-point-something trillion pesos. Ibig sabihin may fiscal space po tayo na dapat pagluran. These are all data-driven data-driven na basis for us to allocate a certain funding. Our perspective, ma'am, is this. Meron po tayong backlog na 25,000 for 40,000 classroom. Kukulangin tayo ng 40,000 classroom. That's our perspective. So we need to at least get more funds in order to address that. So with the additional funding for educational sector, we were able to at least target 25,200 new classrooms, in rehabilitated classrooms. So at least that's 63% of the 40,000 classroom backlog na target by 2028. Meron po tayong deficiency, no, na mga payables to state universities and colleges, which is amounting to 12 billion pesos. If mahirap po yan, bayaran yung 12 billion pesos, no? In one setting, we were able to pay for all of the deficiencies because we reached the we gave the whole amount for all the backlog, for all the payables, and for the deficiencies, no, sa mga state universities na para ma-implement po natin ng totoo yung WACTE, Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act. Nandiyan po yung sa Tertiary Education Subsidy, nandiyan din po yung tulong-dulong under that said. So, binayaran po yan. Ibig sabihin, meron po tayong target na 2.49 million learners. So, yun po yung paradigm natin. Yun po yung perspective natin. How can we address problems that actually face our educational sector? So, that's what we did, no? If we qualify that into individual learners, talagang you will underappreciate. You will underappreciate yung effort na at saka yung purpose nitong pondo na to na which is 1.28 trillion pesos. If we want to trickle down that into individual students, that would actually trivialize the effort of addressing these huge problems of deficiency in the Tertiary Education Act, the backlog for our classrooms, the feeding program, national feeding program for all of our learners. So hindi po yun yung natin hindi po dapat ganun yung our perspective on how we actually appreciate the funding. Mayroon po tayong specific na problema at yung specific na solusyon, at ang solusyon doon will ultimately bounce down to the issue of funding and how much money are available for all of for the government to really address these challenges and these shortcomings of facing the educational sector, which, by the way, are the very reasons why we have a very poor quality of education, because you cannot also discount the fact that facility is important to improve our education, classroom is important, and yung mga dapat na malnutritionist program, that's why we have also added huge amount for the education, for them to be able to implement yung tamang malnutrition feeding programs sa ating mga schools, sa mga ating mga komunidad. So this is how we how we approach the problem and how we surgically targeted these line items so that the educational sector can be provided with the necessary tools, with the necessary arms, and with the necessary funding para to be able to provide yung services para sa ating mga estudyante.
Opo. Kasama din po ba sa budget na ito, Kong Zia, yung pagpapalakas ng struktura ng mga eskwelahan, lalo na po ngayon na nahaharap tayo sa sunod-sunod na mga lindol at pagbaha?
Tama po yan, ma'am, Ma'am Rica. Kasi nga po, may yung 63.2 billion under the GK Basic Education Facilities Program will fund around 25,000, no? And kasama din po dyan. Kasi ito po, let's remember po, ito pong pinag-uusapan natin na mga additional funding ay ito po yung sub-product ng Budget Amendment Review Subcommittee, no? Meron na ho on top of the halimbawa, top of the budget for the Basic Education Facilities Program, meron na po silang pondo diyan sa NEP, no, for the maintenance, for the rehabilitation, repairs ng mga buildings. Meron na po silang budget diyan. Dinagdagan pa po natin ng 63.2 billion. So kaya nga po na-reach natin yung target na 63% out of the 40,000 classrooms na backlog na kailangan by 2028. In 2026, malaki na po yun. 25,000 200. So, kasama na po dyan yung mga repairs, yung mga pag-rehabilitate at saka yung paggawa ng bagong mga classrooms po, ma'am.
Opo.
Okay. Congressman, basahin ko lang po yung ilan sa mga feedback or at least yung mga opinion ng ibang kasamahan nyo po sa Congress. Ano po? Sabi ni Representative Chel Jokno, sabi niya, sa 2026 budget, tuloy pa rin ang ligaya dahil meron pa rin unprogrammed appropriations. At sabi naman nung si Gabriela Party List, Representative Sara Elago, in other words, before us is a pork feast for the powerful and scraps for the people. If ito pong unprogrammed funds na ito ay umaani ng napakatinding pagpuna, ano po kaya ang pwedeng maging dahilan at maging rational para i-maintain pa po natin ito o at least bawasan to an acceptable level?
Well, we understand and we respect their position po, no? Kasi kailangan naman po talaga may nag-fiscalize at may nag-scrutinize. That's why sinasabi po namin from the side of the appropriations, tama po yung tama po na tumindig sila at magsabi po sila na kanila rason. Let's go back po dun sa issue ng unprogrammed funds.
Apo.
Ito pong unprogrammed funds kasi previously meron po siyang infrastructure component, no. Hindi ho natin po pwedeng i-zero na po yung unprogrammed funds kasi kumbaga parang ito po yung gagamitin for national disasters, something that might happen. Hindi ho natin ma-predict yan, sir. Hindi ho natin malagyan ng itemized provision po yan. Kasi hindi ho natin alam kung the degree of destruction that might happen. That's number one. We really have to have a funding to respond in order to respond to calamities such as what happened in Cebu and what happened in Davao. And nobody really knew kung ano yung degree of the destruction and devastation that it may cause to the communities. So, yun po yung number one na kailangan natin isipin. We have to have that. Hindi natin po pwedeng i-zero yan. Number two, ito, medyo parochial po sa akin. Yung compensation package po ng mga biktima ng Marawi Siege. Hanggang ngayon po ay mayroong nagpo-file ng claimants. So, hindi natin alam kung how many families are really were victimized, no? I mean to say, properties were destroyed, and how many of the families were from the original 24 barangays were part of the number of displaced individuals whose houses were destroyed, cars were lost, etc. Yung mga negosyo nila nawala. So hanggang ngayon po ang Marawi Compensation Board tumatanggap po sila ng mga claims para i-vet. So hindi ho natin alam kung specific how much do they need compensation pack yung Marawi Compensation Board. That's why yung additional na funding nila, kasi ang bare minimum was 1 billion pesos according to the law, kung if ever na mag-surpass doon yung claims, no, we're talking about displaced families, yung completely nawala yung kanilang tirahan, negosyo, pera, etc. apart from yung namatayan, kung nag-exceed doon sa 1 billion yung kinakailangan ng Marawi Compensation Board to pay for the eligible claimants, doon natin hugutin yon, kukunin yon, yung additional. Pangatlo, yung mga counterpart natin sa mga foreign assisted projects na hindi natin po pwedeng talikuran kasi obligasyon natin yan. Yun lang po yung may infra component. Kung titingnan nyo po, itong unprogrammed funds, merong mga special provisions na nilagay in our HGAB. Yung special provisions, sinabi doon na yung infra program component ng unprogrammed funds, tatanggalin na po yan. Hindi na po pwedeng gamitin dyan. Wala na pong infra yan ang pwedeng paggugutan o gamitan ng unprogrammed funds. Hindi ho po pwedeng gamitin ng unprogrammed funds para gumawa ng kalsada, gumawa ng bridge, gumawa ng drainage system, gumawa ng water supply, water system, gumawa ng flood control, gumawa ng mga rock netting, gumawa ng mga kung ano-ano, riprap, wharf, etc. So as far as infrastructure component for the from the budget is concerned, it should not be sourced out from the unprogrammed funds. Andun na yan.
Yeah.
Hindi na po pwede yan. Lahat po yan social services ang paggagamitan
So
dyan.
you're saying,
sa program.
Congressman...
So may mga yes po, Sir Peter. May po may mga special provisions po dyan na ito yung targeted na po pwedeng gamitin. It's just that kailangan talaga natin may unprogrammed funds kasi unang-una, hindi ho natin alam, hindi ho natin alam kung kailan po darating yung sakuna.
Opo, okay.
Yung national emergency. So, ibig sabihin, it has to have the specific purpose in order for it not to be possibly be abused. Yung po yung tinanggalan natin ng tinanggal po natin yung possibility na magkaroon po ng abuse or maging discretionary fund.
Alright.
Yun po kasi nagkakaroon ng problema.
Okay. Congressman, maraming salamat po and we hope that siguro nga, there are enough checks and balances and at the same time, yung maiwasan natin yung the build-up of skepticism na this could actually prove to be another issue na pagdududahan ng mga mamamayan. But for now, we will leave it there and we will have another discussion po very soon. Thank you very much, Representative Zia.
Salamat, Kong Zia.
Maraming salamat, Sir Peter. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Rika.